What if I told you there's a recording out there, a black box recording so disturbing that the pilots who heard it begged NASA to delete it forever? This isn't a scene from a sci-fi movie. This is a story that has haunted the halls of space exploration for decades, a mystery that revolves around the final, terrifying moments of the Space Shuttle Columbia. February 1st, 2003. The world watched in horror as the Space Shuttle Columbia, on its final descent back to Earth, disintegrated in the skies over Texas. 7 brave astronauts lost their lives. The official cause, as we all know, was a piece of foam insulation that broke off during launch, striking the shuttle's wing and creating a fatal breach. The superheated gases of re-entry did the rest. It was a national tragedy, a stark reminder of the immense risks of space travel. NASA launched a massive investigation, recovering over 84,000 pieces of debris, including the crucial cockpit voice recorder, the black box. This device held the final conversations of the crew. When the data was finally recovered, the public was told that the crew likely had no idea what was happening. The official story was that the cabin depressurized so quickly, they lost consciousness in seconds, a mercifully quick, albeit tragic end. It was a comforting thought for a grieving world, but what if that wasn't the whole story? What if the official narrative was designed to protect us from a much more harrowing truth? This is where our story takes a turn into the unexplained. A persistent, chilling rumor began to circulate among aerospace insiders, a rumor that NASA has vehemently denied to this day. The rumor claims that the black box recording contained something else entirely, something that wasn't released to the public. According to these whispers, the recording captures the crew's final moments not in silent unconsciousness, but in a state of sheer terror. The story goes that as the alarms blared and the shuttle began to break apart around them, the astronauts were fully aware of their impending doom. Their final words were not calm acceptance, but desperate cries and frantic prayers. One particularly haunting and unverified detail claims one astronaut can be heard saying, "Don't make me do this, God. I don't want to die like this." Imagine the weight of those words. The raw, unfiltered fear of 7 people facing the inevitable, trapped miles above the Earth. It's a reality so grim, so profoundly human and tragic, that you can almost understand why someone would want to hide it. This is the core of the rumor, that upon hearing this gut-wrenching audio, the pilots and investigators involved were so deeply affected, so horrified, that they pleaded with NASA officials to erase it, delete it, bury it, let the families and the world believe in a more peaceful end. The justification? To preserve the heroic image of the astronauts and to spare their families the unimaginable pain of hearing their loved ones' final terrified moments. It's a controversial idea. On one hand, you have the public's right to know the full truth, no matter how difficult. On the other, a compassionate desire to protect the dignity of the fallen and the hearts of those they left behind. NASA's official stance has always been firm. The released transcripts are complete. There is no secret recording, no hidden audio. They maintain that the crew lost consciousness quickly and did not suffer. The official transcript ends with a few calm acknowledgements of system alerts, and then silence, a cutoff word. But for skeptics, that silence is deafening. They ask, is it really possible that a catastrophic, violent event like the shuttle's breakup would be met with such calm? The people who claim to have knowledge of this supposed secret tape describe it as the most terrifying thing they've ever heard. They say it's not just about fear, but about the sounds of the shuttle itself being torn apart, the screeching of metal, the roar of the plasma entering the cabin. A symphony of destruction. They argue that releasing this would not only be traumatic, but could also undermine public confidence in the space program. Who would want to become an astronaut after hearing something like that? This brings us to a fascinating ethical crossroads. Where is the line between transparency and compassion? In the age of information, we expect everything to be available. We demand the raw data, the unedited footage, the complete story. But are there some truths that are too terrible to be shared? Are there situations where a carefully constructed narrative, a noble lie, is more beneficial than the brutal, unvarnished reality? The Columbia disaster is not the only event surrounded by such rumors. Similar stories have cropped up around other aviation and space tragedies. It seems to be a human tendency to imagine the worst, to fill in the silent gaps with our deepest fears. The story of the deleted tape could be just that, a modern-day ghost story, born from the collective trauma of a national tragedy. A way for us to process the incomprehensible horror of what happened to the Columbia crew. Yet, the rumor persists. It's whispered in online forums, discussed in hushed tones by amateur space historians, and kept alive by a deep-seated distrust of official narratives. It taps into that part of us that believes powerful organizations will always hide the inconvenient or disturbing truths. Whether the tape is real or not, the story itself reveals a lot about our relationship with heroes, tragedy, and the secrets we suspect are kept from us. Think about it from NASA's perspective. If the tape were real, they would be in an impossible position. Releasing it would cause immense pain and a public relations nightmare. Hiding it would mean engaging in a massive cover-up, a betrayal of public trust. Perhaps the most logical course of action, from their point of view, would be to destroy it and deny its existence. A clean slate, a merciful edit of history. But history is never truly clean. The fragments of this story remain, pieced together from anonymous sources and insider leaks. There's no smoking gun, no definitive proof. You won't find a declassified document confirming the tape's existence. All we have is the official story and the shadow of this disturbing rumor. A shadow that forces us to question what we've been told. So what do you believe? Do you trust the official report, that the Columbia crew met a swift and unknowing end? Or do you believe that somewhere, in a locked vault or on a server that no longer exists, there was a recording so horrifying that it had to be silenced? A recording that captured the final human moments of 7 heroes as they fell from the stars. The truth, whatever it may be, remains one of the most compelling and unsettling mysteries of the space age. It reminds us that sometimes the most frightening stories are not about aliens or monsters, but about the terrifying realities that human beings can face. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into one of space exploration's darkest alleged secrets. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're fascinated by mysteries like this, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more content that questions the official story. See you next time.